Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Everything MTG. My name is Justin, and we're glad to have you here. So today we're going to be covering part 2 of Ravnica Allegiance spoilers from what I'm putting as 112, but I think it's, like 1.9 or something like that. They finally did spoil all of them. I'm going to be doing a best of the rest for the last, 2 pages because I don't feel like going through all the commons, and I'm sure you guys don't feel like listening to me go through all the commons, so I'm just going to go through the interesting ones here that they've printed up until they started dropping commons, and then I'll cover that in another video so you guys can choose to watch that or ignore it as you dictate. So let's jump in. We're going to start with Awaken the Erstwhile, 3 and double black for sorcery. Each player discards all the cards in their hand, then creates that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Interesting effect, probably playable in Commander. Not sure why you'd want to do that unless you're playing with like Reliquary Tower and a bunch of draw effects. Angel of Grace is 3 and double white for a 5/4 angel with flash and flying. When it enters the battlefield until end of turn, damage that would reduce your life total to less than 1 reduces it to 1 instead. You can pay 4 and double white to exile Angel of Grace from your graveyard, and your life total becomes 10. This is, of course, printed at Mythic Rarity because it's ridiculous. A 5/4 for 5 with flash and flying is pretty good already. But the fact that you can flash it in and you can't die, and then you can pay 4 and 2 white to bring your life total to 10, it's so ridiculous. Yeah. So, so it's amazing while it's on the field. If it dies, it's amazing while it's in the graveyard. I mean, it's just good all around. This is going to play great and limited. It's going to be a great limited card. Windstorm Drake is 4 and 1 blue for a 3/3 Drake with flying. Other creatures you control with flying get +1/+0. Boy, there's one with the wind right on a creature. That's going to be a great new deck to face in Magic the Gathering Arena. That will be a thing. We have our split card Revival and Revenge. Revival is 2 hybrid white or black mana. It's a sorcery. Return target creature card with CMC 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's actually really, really good for 2. And Revenge is 4 1 white and 1 black for a sorcery. Double your life total. Target opponent loses half their life rounded up. Yeah, that can go in Campbell, right? Your Commander Campbell deck. Really, really good. Yeah, that first one is amazing. Dang, that is a great card, especially in Commander. Azorius Skyguard is 4 1 white and 1 blue for a 3/3 human knight with flying, first strike, and creatures your opponents control get -1/-0. So when your opponent slaps down the Windstorm Drake, you slap down the Azorius Skyguard, and you're like, I don't think so. Pretty good. And it can also block the Windstorm Drake because that is first strike and it'll win that fight, so that's hilarious. Arrester's Admonition is 2 and 1 blue for an instant. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Addendum, if you cast a spell during your main phase, draw a card. Pretty good bounce spell. I wish it said permanent, but creature works, and the addendum to be able to draw a card is pretty nice as well. Ethereal Absolution is 4 1 white and 1 black for an enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Creatures your opponents control get -1/-1. You can pay 2 1 white and 1 black to exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. If it was a creature card, you create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. Let's see. Alright, sorry, I'm reading the flavor text there. Interesting. Time to let the dead be dead. Pretty good card. It's got the, from Phyrexia. It's one of the Praetors. It gives everything like -2/-2. It's got a little bit of that going on. And then your own creatures get +1/+1, which is pretty amazing. And then you can also make 1/1 flying white and black spirit creature tokens. In Commander, this is going to be amazing. It'll probably see maybe a little bit of play in some janky decks in Standard, at the very least. Maybe more than that. Someone will probably build a deck around it. Spirit of the Spires is 3 and 1 white for a 2/4 spirit with flying. Other creatures you control with flying get +0/+1. So we have our Lord for flying that gives +1/+0, and we have our Lord for flying that gives +0/+1. Pretty cool. Fireblade Artist is 1 black, 1 red for a 2/2 human shaman with haste. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice a creature. When you do, Fireblade Artist deals 2 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. Pretty effective in red-black especially. A lot of tokens happening in red and black, zombies, goblins, things like that. So I think this is going to be a very effective card. It's a nice include in red-black color. Mirror March is 5 and 1 red for an enchantment. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, flip a coin until you lose a flip. For each flip you won, create a token that's a copy of that creature. Those tokens gain haste. Exile them at the beginning of the next end step. That's actually a really good card. Oh my gosh. It really relies on your luck to flip a coin, though. I hope you're taking a loaded coin with you. Don't do that, kids. It's against the rules. Shark Toe Crab is 2, 1 green and 1 blue for a 4/4 fish octopus crab with adapt 1 for 2, 1 green and 1 blue. Whenever 1 or more 1/1 counters are put on Shark Toe Crab, tap target creature an opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Very, very good card, in my opinion, especially since there's so much +1/+1s what do I want to say? Synergy here in this set that you're going to be able to probably do that multiple times, other than the fact that it's already on the card. So pretty darn good for control-y action going on there. Scrabble and Claws is 1 colorless for an artifact. Tap target player exiles a card from their graveyard. I guess it's their choice, reading how that's read. And pay 1, sacrifice Scrabble and Claws, exile target card from a graveyard, draw a card. Pretty effective. I like it. It would definitely see some use against Marin of Clan Neltoth in Commander, although I'm sure there's better options. Font of Agonies is 1 black for an enchantment. Whenever you pay life, put that many blood counters on Font of Agonies. For 1 and 1 black, you can remove 4 blood counters from Font of Agonies and destroy target creature. That's a really, really good effect. There's a lot of things out there that let you pay life, especially in Commander for shock lands or fetch lands. That's going to be amazing. And it's a 1 black drop. It's so good. Plaza of Harmony is a land. When it enters the battlefield, if you control 2 or more gates, you gain 3 life. You can tap to add waste to your mana pool, or you can tap to add 1 mana of any type that a gate you control could produce. There's some more of that gate synergy that they're trying to promote in this set, which I do believe is a great thing, but I still don't think they have enough synergy to make it so people are going to try and take advantage of it. Gates Ablaze is 2 and 1 red for a sorcery. Gates Ablaze deals X damage to each creature, where X is the number of gates you control. There's another synergistic Gates card. Glass of the Guild Pact is 2 colorless for an artifact. Multicolored creatures you control get +1/+1. There's a lot of Lord effects in this set, and that would be really good for something like Selesnya, but a lot of Selesnya creatures are 1 color, so I don't know. So, does March of the Multitudes create green-white creatures? If it does, then that would be amazing for March of the Multitudes. Cindervines is 1 green and 1 red for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, Cindervines deals 1 damage to that player. You can pay 1 to sacrifice Cindervines, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Cindervines deals 2 damage to that permanent's controller. That's amazing. I would play that in Red Gruul Commander all day long. Skewer the Critics is 2 and 1 red for a sorcery with Spectacle for 1 red. Skewer the Critics deals 3 damage to any target. If you manage to Spectacle this off, it is so good. But right now I would just play with Wizard's Lightning, other white soldier creature tokens. Okay, so you wouldn't be able to break March of the Multitudes, unfortunately. But right now I'd just play with Wizard's Lightning and, Viashinos and stuff like that. Because this is sorcery speed, so it's strictly worse, unfortunately. Clan Guildmage is 1 red, 1 green for a 2/2 human shaman. For 1 and 1 red, you can tap it and target creature can't block this turn. Very typical red effect. For 2 and a green, you can tap. Target land you control becomes a 4/4 elemental creature with haste. Until end of turn, it's still a land. Those effects are always interesting, but they never work the way you want them to work. And then you're just going to end up getting your lands killed. And it's just a bad day. So the top ability, pretty good. The bottom ability, definitely has applications in limited, turning your lands into for 3, turning your lands into 4/4s. In actual gameplay, I'm not so sure. Dovin's Acuity is 1 white and 1 blue for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life and draw a card. Very good. Whenever you cast an instant spell during your main phase, you may return Dovin's Acuity to its owner's hand. So this is very much the opposite of Disinformation Campaign. And that's pretty cool. It does really incentivize you to play instants on your main phase, but I don't know who's going to want to do that. I mean, you can certainly play around it, so it can definitely see play. Orzhov Enforcer is 1 and 1 black for a 1/2. For a human rogue, death touching with Afterlife 1. That is amazing. Dang. Death touch and Afterlife? Oh my gosh. That is supremely annoying for 2. Wow, that's so good. Scorchmark is 1 and 1 red for an instant. It's not quite Vampire Nighthawk, no. But Vampire Nighthawk also doesn't replace itself. Scorchmark is 1 and 1 red for an instant. Deals 2 damage to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. That's a reprint of... not Lava Coil. There's another one that does 2 and exiles it. I play like a bunch of them, but I can't remember what it's called. Lumbering Battlement is 4 and 1 white. If you remember what it's called in the comments, let me know. Lumbering Battlement is 4 and 1 white for a 4/5 beast with vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, exile any number of other non-token creatures you control until it leaves the battlefield. It gets +2/+2 for each card exiled with it. I mean, that's definitely a big beater. I don't know. It'd be good to avoid board wipes. I don't know how else you would want to look at this card, though. I mean, it seems good. I don't know, though. I wouldn't play it because I just don't like dealing with that kind of effect, but I could definitely see it being good. Hero of Precinct 1 is 1 white and 1 for a 2/2 human warrior. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, create a 1/1 white human creature token. That's going to end up going right into Selesnya. So, good job, Selesnya. Priest of Forgotten Gods is 1 black and 1 for a 1/2 human cleric. You can tap to sacrifice 2 other creatures. Any number of target players each lose 2 life and sacrifice a creature. You add double black and draw a card. Manda, there's a card to play with Krav. If you were paying attention. Tap, sack 2 other creatures. Any number of target players each lose 2 life and sacrifice a creature. Then you add double black and draw a card.
Wow.
And it costs 1 and 1 black.
No, Regna. Regna is the one that makes creatures.
Oh, Regna makes creatures.
Krav is 1 black, sack X creatures.
Oh, Krav lets you sack. Okay. Well, she would also go very great with Regna then. Or any token strategy. Incubation Druid is 1 and a green for a 0/2 elf druid. Tap, add 1 mana of any type that a land you control could produce. So that's Exotic Orchard. If Incubation Druid has a 1/1 counter on it, add 3 mana of that type instead. You can adapt 3 for 3 and double green. That is an amazing mana dork. And I guess they knew that because they printed it at rare. But being able to get, I mean, it's so easy to put a 1/1 counter on this thing. Being able to tap it for 3 mana of any one type that one of your lands could produce is so broken. So amazing card. That's a great include. Tome of the Guild Pact is 5 colorless for an artifact. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, draw a card. And it also has tap, add 1 mana of any color. Pretty good, especially in a commander deck if you're playing multicolor. So, good stuff. Captive Audience is 5, 1 black, 1 red for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield under the control... It enters the battlefield under the control of an opponent of your choice. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose one that hasn't been chosen. So when it says your upkeep, I take it to mean their upkeep, because they now own the card. When it enters the battlefield, it enters under the control of an opponent.
Yeah.
At the beginning of your upkeep, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Your life total becomes 4. Discard your hand, or each opponent creates 5 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Yeah, this is just a very feel bad card. I can't wait to see some of my friends play this in Commander. That's gonna be so great. Biogenic Ooze is 3 and double green for a 2/2 ooze. When it enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 green ooze creature token. At the beginning of your end step, put a 1/1 counter on each ooze you control. You can pay 3 green and 1 colorless to create a 2/2 green ooze creature token. So for all of you that have been looking for ooze tribal, you've found your lord, although he unfortunately cannot be a commander. Sunder Shaman is 2 red, 2 green for a 5/5 giant shaman. It can't be blocked by more than one creature, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, destroy target artifact or enchantment that player controls. That is pretty darn good, although double green, double red is going to be hard to play into. That's pretty steep on the mana requirement. Let's see, we have a split card here, and of course it's in another language. Let's see if they have it translated. Repudiate and replicate. So we have repudiate, which is two green and blue hybrid for an instant. Counter target activated or triggered ability. Mana abilities cannot be targeted this way. Pretty decent. And then we have replicate, which is 1 blue, 1 green, and 1 for sorcery. Create a token that's a copy of a creature you control. I would definitely play this in a Simic deck. It's got all your typical good Simic stuff. Counter target activated or triggered ability is really great. Creating a token that's a copy of a creature you control is also really great. That's definitely an include in a Simic deck. We have another split card, Collision and Colossus. Collision is 1 and a hybrid red or green mana for an instant. It deals 6 damage to target creature with flying. Very specific. And then we have Colossus, which is 1 red and 1 green for an instant. Target creature gets +4/+2 and gains trample until end of turn. That's actually really good. +4/+2 for 2 and trample. Man. Gruul is stepping their game up. Persistent Petitioners is 1 and 1 blue for a 1/3 human advisor. What? All these advisors, I'll tell you. Pay 1 colorless and tap it. Target player puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. Tap 4 untapped advisors you control. Target player puts the top 12 cards of their library into their graveyard. A deck can have any number of cards named Persistent Petitioners. Amanda, what do you think of that?
I think Campbell's an advisor.
Campbell is an advisor. It's literally Rat Colony, but from Mill.
I don't know.
And so I'm going to make a deck like that on MTGA. It's happening. Look forward to it sometime in the future. Rally to Battle is 3 and 1 white for an instant. Creatures you control get +1/+3 until end of turn. Untap them. Pretty good little combat trickery. Sentinel's Mark is 1 and 1 white for an enchantment aura with flash and enchant creature. The enchanted creature gets +1/+2 and has vigilance, broken. With addendum, when Sentinel's Mark enters the battlefield, if you cast it during your main phase, enchanted creature gains lifelink until end of turn. Good. That's a beater right there. Elite Arrestor is 1 white for an 0/3 human soldier. You can pay 1 and a blue to tap it and tap target creature.
I am finished.
And I love the freaking I love the flavor text. It says, "Hold it. I need to see your papers." And he's like holding his hand out like, "Stop it right there. In the name of the law, son."
Stop in the name of the...
Be careful there. We're going to get a copyright strike. Domri's Nodorog is 3 a red and a green for a 5/2 beast with trample. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library and or graveyard for a card named Domri City Smasher. Reveal it. Put it into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. So that is going to be part of the, what's that called? Planeswalker decks. They always have a card that fetches the Planeswalker. Then we have Charging War Boar, which is 1 green, 1 red, and 1 for a 3/1 boar with haste. As long as you control a Domri Planeswalker, it gets +1/+1 and has trample. It's actually not that bad to play in a normal standard game if you are playing Domri. Like, not the Planeswalker Domri, the other Domri is really good. So that would actually work pretty well, which is interesting. Macabre Mockery is 2, 1 red, 1 black for an instant. Put target creature card from an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gets +2/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. Sack it at the beginning of the next end step. It's pretty good for 4. Yeah. Any creature. And it gets +2/+0. Wow. Not bad at all, not bad at all. Forbidding Spirit is 2 white and 1 for a 3/3 Spirit Cleric. When it enters the battlefield, until your next turn, creatures can't attack you or a planeswalker you control unless their controller pays 2 for each of those creatures. That's really good. That's propaganda on a stick, man. Regenesis is 3 and double green for an instant. Return up to 2 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. I'd rather just play a 4 of with Elvish Mystic. Or not Mystic, gosh, what's that called? Elvish... No, the one that gets cards back from your graveyard. It's like an auto-include in every green deck ever. We just pulled one from some set that we opened. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments if you remember what name it is. It's like a W, right? I don't know. Whatever. Cavalcade of Calamity is 1 red and 1 for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control with power 1 or less attacks, it deals 1 damage to the player or planeswalker that creature is attacking. That's pretty good. Yeah, for a token strategy, goblin tokens. Yeah, that is killer. Eyes Everywhere is 2 and 1 blue for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1. This is already looking pretty good. 5 and a blue, exchange control of Eyes Everywhere and target non-land permanent. Activate this ability only as a sorcery. Jeez.
So you give them a scry, but you can take their bomb.
Yeah, you could take literally anything, and you're like, here, have a scry. I'm gonna take your Emrakul. Yeah, I mean, scry is good for blue. Like, that is really good. Yeah, not bad at all, man. Clamor Shaman, 2 and 1 red for a 1/1 Goblin Shaman with Riot. When it attacks, target creature an opponent controls can't block this turn. Isn't that the same as that, like, 1-drop 1/1 Goblin that costs like a ton of money, Goblin Miner or something? Costs a ton of money. It's played modern because it does that effect. Can't remember what it's called. I can't remember most of the names of these cards, apparently. Gatebreaker Ram is 2 and 1 green for a 2/2 sheep. Just a sheep. It gets +1/+1 for each gate you control. There's that synergy. As long as you control 2 or more gates, it has Vigilance and Trample. That,
No goats?
no goats, just sheep. That might actually be a reason to play gates right there. Sphinx of the Guild Pact is 7 colorless for a 5/5 artifact Sphinx. It's all colors, flying, and it has hexproof from monocolored spells. That's interesting. You don't see that very often.
How much does it cost?
7. It's 7 colorless for a 5/5. Sphinx of the Guild Pact is all colors, has hexproof from monocolors, and it's flying. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Could be a bomb, but
That could be good, yeah. I don't know. Gateway Sneak is 2 and 1 blue for a 1/3 Vidalcan Rouge. Whenever a gate enters battlefield under your control, it can't be blocked this turn. Gateway Sneak. Whenever a Gateway Sneak deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Your typical draw a card blue creature. You know, Merfolk Looter or whatever. Resolute Watchdog is 1 white for a 1/3 Hound Defender. Pay 1. Sacrifice Resolute Watchdog. Target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn.
play that in.
Yeah, I could play that in Arcades. That might be an include. Sky Tether is 1 white for an enchantment aura with enchant creature. Enchanted creature has Defender and loses flying. That's annoying.
Kind of removal? Kind of?
For 1 white? That's good.
Yeah.
You get a big 5/5 dragon, you're like, slap it with 1 white, son. It has Defender and no flying. Suck it. And the last card we're going to cover for today is Knight of the Last Breath. 5, 1 white, 1 black for a 4/4 Giant Knight. Pay 3 colorless, sacrifice another non-token creature, create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying, and it has Afterlife 3. Not too bad, but it's very expensive at 7. Eey. That's your bomb and limited, though. You know, that's basically what that is. Yeah, anyways, guys, appreciate you keeping up with the spoilers with me. I apologize that they're a little bit late. I will be covering the best of the rest. There's like another 2 pages, but they're all commons. A couple uncommons sprinkled in there, but you know how it is. The last like week, they throw all the crap out there that nobody cares about. Like the limited stuff. You know, you're never going to probably play it in standard, but you know, it's for limited. So I'm sure you guys don't want to sit through all that in this video. This is your exciting video for the day. Anyways, if you're enjoying the content, throw a like out there, share with your friends if they might be enthusiasts of Magic the Gathering, such as myself, yourself, and Amanda's self over here. And subscribe if you want to see more similar content. Thanks, and we'll see you next time right here on Everything MTG.